The text message from my stepmother popped up on my phone while I sat at my desk, looking down over the city from 60 floors up. She informed me that after discussing it with my father, they decided I was no longer welcome at the Oak Ridge Club, and my longtime membership was officially revoked. She claimed my behavior at the annual gala was unacceptable, but in reality, all I did was expose how their private foundation was spending less than 2% on actual charitable work while funding their lavish lifestyle. My executive assistant knocked on the door and walked in with my afternoon coffee, handing over the latest financial portfolio reports. I took a sip and casually asked him how long my father and his wife had held their elite status at Oak Ridge, and he reminded me it had been over 15 years. That was the exact same exclusive retreat where they kicked me out of the main suite when I turned 17, simply because my stepmother wanted the entire space for her weekend retreats with her friends. Another notification buzzed on my screen, with my stepmother warning me that security had been notified and telling me not to embarrass myself by trying to enter the grounds. What she failed to realize was that 3 months ago, my investment company quietly acquired the entire resort group in a major corporate transaction. I kept the takeover completely private while restructuring the company from within, meaning that not a single member of the resort staff or management realized their paychecks were now coming directly from my financial firm. I asked my assistant to bring up the live security feed from the resort on my office monitor, and within seconds, several high-definition camera angles appeared on the wall. I could clearly see my father and stepmother lounging in the premium spa room, sipping expensive wine while complaining to the staff about ungrateful family members who did not know their place. My assistant confirmed they were currently charging thousands of dollars to their elite account, completely unaware that their entire world was about to shift. I hovered my fingers over the main administrative portal on my laptop, looking at the account status option while reflecting on years of being pushed aside. Despite earning my master's degree and building a successful financial career entirely on my own, my stepmother made sure I was left out of every major family gathering. The absolute final straw was discovering that they were using charitable donations to cover their personal luxuries while turning down grants for students who genuinely needed financial assistance. I watched as the resort manager escorted both of them through the main lobby while other members pulled out their phones to record the embarrassing scene. For years, my stepmother had looked down on everyone around her, but now she was being walked out of the building in a basic robe while trying not to trip. I instructed my assistant to ensure their access was terminated across all secondary properties as well, making sure there were no loopholes left for them to exploit. A month after that incident, I visited the newly renovated main suite, which had been completely transformed into an academic research center and workspace for visiting scholars. The flashy gold decorations and private bar were gone, replaced by modern desks, laptop stations, and shelves filled with educational materials for deserving students. My phone buzzed with news alerts showing that their foundation was now under formal investigation, accompanied by a desperate text message from my stepmother begging for help as their personal accounts faced freeze orders. My assistant walked into the room to inform me that my father was waiting downstairs in the lobby, looking worn out and stressed after weeks of public scrutiny. I told him to send my father up, and when he walked into the room, he stopped in his tracks, staring at the dramatic physical changes to his former private retreat. Where expensive artwork used to hang, there were now achievement awards and photos of young students who had just received full academic grants through our new program. He sat down across from me, looking older and defeated as he asked what it would take to make the legal problems disappear before things escalated any further. I laid out several files on the desk showing bright, hardworking students who had overcome massive obstacles, explaining that these were the people receiving actual support now. He tried to claim I was destroying the family, but I calmly told him I was simply building a better legacy, one based on merit and real impact rather than hollow social status. I offered him a clear choice, explaining that he could either fight the investigation and lose everything in court, or voluntarily surrender control of the foundation to an independent board. By stepping down quietly, he could avoid total financial ruin and retain enough personal assets to live comfortably, though my stepmother would have to settle for a standard resort pass with no special privileges. He stared at the paperwork for a long moment before picking up a pen, realizing he no longer had any leverage left to negotiate. As he signed the transfer documents, he admitted that he never expected me to build such a powerful position while they were busy looking down on me for all those years. I watched him walk out of the room, leaving behind the title and status he had cherished for so long, while down on the lawn, a new group of students arrived for their orientation. Standing by the window, I knew that true success was not about the titles you hoard or the clubs you belong to, but the opportunities you create for others once you gain control.